What's up, Hug Media family? Happy Friday. I hope that you are having an amazing day. Happy Valentine's Day to those of you who are celebrating, and more importantly to me, in speaking to you, a happy World Radio Day. I hope that you took the time out yesterday to really celebrate with your favorite radio stations and reminisce on all the amazing things you've shared with the radio station over your lifetime. To be honest, I had a completely different plan this week. I've been editing the last couple of days about a recent trip that I took to Durban and answering some of the questions that you had from a recent survey. But as Murphy would have it, I was busy finishing up yesterday afternoon, and an email came through from the ever awesome and insightful Nick Grubb chatting about World Radio Day. And it has me now 5 a.m. 14th of Feb 2020. Redoing my entire video. But if you give me a minute, we'll chat more about why I think radio is the regional influencer. So as I mentioned in the intro, I'm literally changing this video today, and forgive me for the conversational nature of today's video. But I really just wanted to have a honest, open chat just about all the things that radio is and what I see in radio and why I'm so passionate about radio, as many of you know. And why I called radio the regional influencer is if I think about what maybe I see influencers doing today for brands, what so many ads have done for brands over time. I think radio has just naturally done so many of these things in a way that doesn't seem forced or seem like it needs a title. If I think about the influencers that sit in studio on a daily basis, speaking to an audience that they've really grown to understand in a manner that's never forced. All that radio DJs have done over time is really just understood where they exist at what time of the day, and the audience that's listening in, because they listen. They spend time listening to the phone callers that come in. They spend time reading the messages and the type of people and the way they're thinking at that time of the day and adapting to that. And that's a skill, that's an art that I think that so many just of your influencers don't always understand. I think they are the regional influencer because radio also understands the flow of the audience from a music perspective. They know how they like to flow to work in the morning, or how they like to kind of exist throughout the day with that perfect background soundtrack. And when coming home in the afternoon and you had the most hectic day, they know just how to take you home. And if you love listening to radio in the evening, they have the perfect set of music based on the station that you like and that you tune into. They completely understand you. We talk about in the current era of YouTube and podcasting about and on-demand brands, about how the audience wants to choose, when and how and why. And a radio has just naturally been there throughout the time. It was this case of you were never forced to listen to the radio station, but your favorite radio station just got you. They knew the right song to play at the right time. They knew the right topic to speak about in the right moment. And I remember always thinking about how sometimes I used to play a CD in my car before USBs, and your soundtrack, because of its repetitive nature, would become boring after the time. And there's something beautiful about radio and just how it selects music even, in the way that they understand the mellowness or the tone of that time of the day and meet it, but in a way that's still surprising to you. And in that way, when a song comes on, you just get that feeling like, oh wow, like I didn't see that one coming, or like I really haven't heard this track in a while, or that's an awesome track. And that's just in the music. And then when it comes to the DJs that speak, they just speak straight to you. They know exactly what is happening currently. They understand current affairs. They understand current pop culture. Also within the realms of what the audience is. So you wouldn't find on certain maybe talk brands with a slightly older audience them speaking about Kim Kardashian. But you also wouldn't find on something that's like a younger breed of station them really speaking over and over about something that is purely outside of the realm of their audience. Radio just gets that, and it's always gotten it, and it's evolving as we speak in terms of existing in different spaces, as radio stations launch apps where podcasts are held so people can go back and listen. But it's been existing in that space for a while, where in social media, where that content was available online. these brands that are on air. The beauty of what I find about the DJs nowadays is my favorite ones are ones that just really understand the mix of everything that's happening around their show. They exist on air in that 3 hours and they know exactly who they're speaking to, but they also exist in a person, or they also exist as a person in the other 21 hours outside of their show. They understand that they need to, in the current time, create this brand that is really real and authentic. And I think that's really powerful, because I find in the current space, when, and this is definitely not like a shade at influencers, because I know a couple of really great ones, but it's easy to fall into the trap of doing things purely for attention. And some of the biggest influencers in the world were purely garnered out of a platform that they created that got them attention. But no one really finds those attention-seeking platforms insightful or capable of really adding value to life when that person really speaks about an opinionated topic or brand. But something that I think radio DJs do really well, because they understand audience, they understand how to speak to people, is that they know when they're creating a brand outside of their show, they're building something that needs to be authentic and needs to resonate also with the listeners of that show. So if I'm Khalid on Hug Media here and I speak in a certain way, I'm interested in certain topics, what I speak to in social media and in life, like, I need to be consistent. I need to build that throughout all the different platforms. They might live in slightly different ways, like across maybe a Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, but I understand that all of it needs to kind of be really authentic and real, because the beauty of the current listener and audience that is online and both on air as all tuned in, is that they are really loyal and really faithful, but they'll also call you out on anything that's just really fake or just not aligned with you. So radio has just, for me, has always been this an amazing medium that really speaks to the soul of the listener. They really just understand, and when it comes to executing brand campaigns, they just do it in a way that they know will resonate with the audience. And I've often sometimes had pushback about maybe a brand asking me, like, why pardon, why is it that I can't be in that show, or why is it that they didn't want to flight this feature or power spot in that particular time channel. And the reason was simple, is that the radio understood what the content was and what you were trying to achieve, and then simply just said that that's the right audience fit, or that particular show is going to give that content the right time and the right flow, because the DJ speaks to it naturally. When there's a DJ who has no interest in finance and you want to chuck a finance feature in his show, it's not going to resonate with him or her, and it's not going to resonate with their audience. But when you put it in a show where people understand and know that this DJ is really about that kind of topic, or about business and about upliftment, all of a sudden that audience is just open to listening to it. I've learned the same thing within the YouTube space, about how so many great vloggers turn so much money away purely for the sake of not speaking to something that they're just not interested in. And the beauty of radio is obviously that content can exist across the day in a generic sense, but when it comes to really speaking to it and really landing it with an audience with a non-traditional or created content, it always exists and will always be placed in a space that really resonates with both the on-air talent as well as the on-air listener, and also in a way that can translate both online, across social media or website if it needs to. So radio to me has just always been this incredible medium that really adapts to all times, exists so amazingly with the social media era and the online era. It is live, it is current, it just gets what it needs to do and just does it better than any other medium can do. But that's my opinions, and I'd really love to know yours in the comments on the video. If you can, just share with me what is one of your favorite things about radio, or what's one of your favorite moments in radio, or who is your favorite DJ. I really like knowing that, and like what radio means to people, because for me it has just been this incredible medium, and I might listen to it differently now than I used to maybe a couple of years ago when I was recording mixtapes, but and I'm sure you did too actually. But it has just transcended so well across every decade, and I love it for that. And I love how it exists in so many ways, and I love DJs, the talent, and how they've also just learned to adapt as times have changed around them all the time. So, you know, I like giving things away. I've actually just landed a beautiful Bluetooth speaker in my drawer, and I'd love you to be able to listen to your favorite radio station through that amazing sounding Bluetooth speaker. So take the time to please comment on this video, share your thoughts with me on what your favorite radio moment was or is, and what your favorite radio DJ or station is, or maybe just something about radio that I've not spoken about and you'd love to hear me talk about. I'd really appreciate it, and I really want you to consider whether you agree with me that radio is the regional influencer. Once again, wishing you an amazing Friday. I will post that video about Durban, my trip to Durban, in the coming week. But I hope that you took something out of this video and I did not waste your time. Have an amazing Friday, and happy World Radio Day from us at Hug Media. Massive hugs.